Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Pocket Dimension. Thanks for rejoining us for Queen's Light, a beautiful Daggerheart campaign frame. My name is Matt.
I'm AK.
I'm Evan.
I'm Fitz.
And I'm Austin. And last time, we got into something spicy as our group had descended down into Silkhaven through the winch in Husk. They were ambushed by this large mechanical construct. Merrow was knocked into a cavern, but Selwyn and Guy had teamed up to make a bug rocket with Selwyn's new crystal heart magic. However, Rex, left with the creature, had fallen to its massive strikes, and as the other three rocketed up, our poor little bard was falling down into the darkness. And so as we come back here in this moment, Rex's consciousness is fading and you feel yourself slipping into that darkness. You see the last few glimpses of your companions just powering up and away on some literally a burst of pink magic emanating out of Selwyn, and it feels like the afterlife. It feels like something ethereal and mysterious. And as your soul starts to drift into that unconsciousness, untethered, you pass through this place where time folds in on itself. Sounds become colors, and you're no longer a body, just thought and memory and emotion adrift in this veil between worlds. And then out of this silence, light begins to gather. And it doesn't step forward, it doesn't speak with words, it simply is. This shimmering, amorphous presence of warm golden hues constantly shifting. Sometimes a figure, sometimes 1,000 points of starlight, sometimes just a soft pulse in this darkness. But you can feel it close, almost leaning, not with a body, but with an intent, a song that captures you. It's offering something, this thread or pattern out to you. Does Rex meet it, or is Rex apprehensive at this strange entity?
So it has no physical form. It's just a feeling and golden waves, but there is sort of elements of a song as well.
Yeah, there's this thing. It's like a shifting form. It's not static, but there is some entity in this darkness that is emanating this light around you as you have transitioned into death.
I think Rex would head towards the light, Caroline. I think Rex would at least be curious enough to go towards.
It's this soft, slow moment, like pulling yourself through molasses, and then all at once, that rushing comes back to you, this breath in your chest, this ache in your limbs, this pain, and suddenly an ease. Just a whisper of radiance that lingers. And we return back to the others. As you all are rocketing up through this space, out through the caverns and up into the air, you crest out of the hole, having watched Rex's body fall away. And you see this creature still standing. It seems badly wounded, but it has now kind of amplified, pulsing out an increase in steam. And with that increase in power, seems to have some instability. Plays with the players. What are you guys doing?
Are we still in the air? Did we land?
Yeah, you guys have rocketed up into the air, and you're kind of cresting up at the end of Selwyn's burst of magic. You're probably about 20, 30 feet, so close range from this creature as the magic is coming to its end. And so you're on an arc enough that you'll kind of get dumped onto the stone if you don't do anything, but you're still hovering at that last little bit right now.
Okay.
Ooh, I'd like to throw. I'm still holding this.
You're still holding the arm, yeah.
I'd like to this fist into its face, Transor Z style.
Now that's throwing
Absolutely.
punches.
Go ahead and give me a strength check here.
16 with fear.
Ooh, fun. 16 definitely does hit even at the enhanced state. And so for this, you're going to go ahead and roll 2d4 and then add your strength score to it.
7 points.
7
of
points.
fisticuffs.
All right, so 1 HP of damage to the brawler bot here as you toss out this arm and it goes careening into the creature. And we're going to make a quick roll.
Watch him pick
And
it up.
it is still it is still stabilized, but you saw as it hit the creature's body, the gears, they're pushing themselves to their limit, and any amount of destabilization is clearly affecting this creature. And with that fear, you all tumble through the air and collapse into a pile right in front of this creature. It rushes up immediately to Merrow and it grabs onto the arm that you had tossed and just begins to swing it around itself, launching it directly back at you.
Okay.
So as
chunky
this
boy.
arm gets launched towards you, Merrow, you're going to immediately take 14 points of physical damage as you're kind of tossed down onto the ground.
Take an armor slot for that.
And then you used an armor to knock you down to minor? Yeah, so
Yes.
1 hit point of damage there. As it maneuvers over to you all, it's going to lift up its arm and try and slam down at the ground one more time. And so I do need all 3 of you to make me an agility reaction roll here.
It's a 6.
Got a 6.
15.
15. So Guy, you kind of roll out of the way, just blending right back into the shadows. It's only 6 points of damage because it only has 1 arm, but you are both slowed. And so instead of normally you can move up to close distance, right now you can only move in very close when you're taking an action. And play is back to the players here.
Selwyn is going to stare him down and say, "Nature forgives, but I don't." As she marks a stress and transforms into a wolf.
Yeah, and for your wolf form, as these are kind of insectoid fae, is there any aesthetics here that would be unique to how Selwyn kind of transforms into a wolf creature?
Yeah, like Selwyn's whole vibe, right, is that she's got this kind of brown skin that it's lit from within with the stars and constellations. And the wolf fur is that same kind of brown with those fiery eyes. And it looks like she just kind of rolled around in glitter. Okay. So I guess I'm going to like rear up on my haunches and try and like swipe at him with my claws.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 16 with fear.
16 definitely does hit.
So 7, 8, 9, 10 physical damage.
Another hit point off this creature. It's still trying to hold on. And
Ooh, and to set up Guy, when you hit with a melee attack, you may mark a stress to make the target temporarily vulnerable.
ooh,
May I do
okay.
that?
You can. And so I believe while vulnerable, attacks get advantage.
Yes.
So the next
like-
attacks will all roll with a d6. Perfect.
Kind of sits back and looks at Guy.
I love it. And
Is it still with us or does it go?
yeah,
away?
so with the fear, it does transition over. I don't have too much to spend on this, but it is going to trigger another one of those shrapnel-powered battery assaults as that shrapnel just begins to spin off in all different directions once more. If Guy is going here at the start as when play passes over, I need all 3 of you guys to give me another agility reaction roll here.
Okay.
Okay.
It's an 8.
17.
All right. So Selwyn is the only one who succeeds. Good news is for Guy and for Merrow, you only take 1 point of physical damage, but I need you both to roll me a d6 to see if you're jolted again.
Okay.
4 is a success, so now
3.
3, also fine. So you guys just take the 1 point of physical damage.
So you said that when I evaded the other attack not long ago that I tumbled off into the shadows. Don't think I didn't hear that. So I tumbled off into the shadows. So I will mark a stress to shadow step. And I'm going to shadow step into his shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to stab.
I'll say as you stab, can you give me just a roll of your duality dice? No check necessarily, but just a roll of the duality dice here.
16.
Hope or fear?
Hope.
Hope. Okay. As you step behind the shadows, ready to strike, you see as the ground nearby was ready to give way and it begins to fall another cavern, but you are just on the other side of it, maintaining steady ground for now, but another cavern does open up. And go ahead and make that strike.
I want to stab the shit out of this guy's taint.
Yes.
Yes, you do. And you're at advantage, right?
If you roll with fear, you've just stabbed your own taint.
I rolled with hope, so I did not stab my own taint. Thankfully. But it was only an 8.
An 8 is not a success, but you do gain a hope back, which is good. And so in this moment, as the ground is kind of rumbling and stumbling away, you're more distracted with trying to make sure that you don't fall again. And the strike just goes wild in this moment. But you know that you've got the advantage here.
Get that.
Yeah, okay, so I missed the taint on the first try, so I'll go for the butt cheek, which I feel like is a little fattier and maybe easier to get.
Can you confirm, GM, that this creature does have a butt cheek?
It has a posterior region. I don't know if I would define it as a cheek.
Okay.
Then I will go for the posterior crack. Is it still vulnerable?
It is.
Okay, and I will spend 2 more hope to try again to get the additional sneak attack.
All right.
I have no more hope after this, but I really just want to kill this guy.
Just kill it.
I'm just sitting in front of him howling to try and maintain attention on me so that guy can sneak around back on the posterior region.
Heckins, yeah. This is much better. It's with hope again. My moth die are rolling quite good. And now that I've said that, they won't. But this is 21 with hope.
That definitely hits.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me the damage.
Okay, it's going to be, let's see, 10 for the base damage.
Okay.
And then it's going to be 17 plus 10, 27.
Okay, 27 hits its severe threshold. And even with reducing that to major, that is still enough to take down this creature. And so, Guy, can you please describe how you want to destroy this construct?
Oh, yeah. I think as we come flying up out of the hole and we see Rex collapse, we have this moment where Rex probably made a little bit of eye contact with everybody. And Guy separates from the group and rolls into the shadows when this construct attacks us. I shadow step underneath it, and when I do so, you see my eyes they're still red, but they have this black, smoky situation that kind of is filtering over them, and stabs once up and loses her feet a little bit under her because the ground starts to fall away, and so she flutters her wings and stabilizes herself and just goes, "Not again," and stabs up, thinking of Rex and how unfair it is. But there's a glimmer of hope as I look over and I see Rex's wing, and I see the little half moon shape on it, and I think of the connection that Rex has with our dear Selwyn, and with that bolster of hope, I think the construct collapses around Guy, and then the shadows disappear from her eyes.
As it breaks out into some pieces and collapses down onto the ground, you all have defeated this powerful foe, but are down one companion. How do you all react to this?
I immediately flutter over to Selwyn. Selwyn, you're the expert on this. What do we have to do? Do we have to bury him in a shallow grave and then run away and get some crystals? You're the expert on this.
Selwyn will drop out of her beast form, coming back to you in her firefly form, and flutter over to where Rex lies.
So
kneeling.
Rex actually fell through the cavern.
Okay.
Yeah.
She will flutter over and kind of kneel at the precipice, looking over and down, and look back at her friends and say, he didn't go out. Just, and she'll kind of like look up, on. And it like looks for like, even though we cannot see the stars here in this underground lair that we're in, it feels like she is like searching the stars for answers, for guidance on what to do next. And it's just going to kind of like take a quiet minute to breathe and see if she can sense Rex's spirit somehow, or maybe a message from her higher self of what to do next, because she doesn't know the answer to Guy's question.
If you would like to, you can roll me either a knowledge or instinct check as you try to kind of reach out to something beyond or kind of pull on your own memories.
I have one hope left, and I would love to spend that on my experience. Don't fear the Reaper. Feels
I
correct.
feel like that works very well
in this moment, and I will be rolling instinct. And you just kind of see she just kind of like sits back on her heels. She's still kneeling on her knees and kind of like wraps her wings around her to just kind of like go into this little place within herself.
Nice.
So that is 19 with fear.
19 with fear. In this moment, as Selwyn is trying to reach out to something, trying to understand, and she remembers that weaving thread of fate that she saw, that she traced back to her own passing. Was it even a death like this? And tries to kind of pull on that, and there is just this moment where you know that you don't know, and it drives this desire in you to find out how these things are connected with what this world is and what brings on the next. But it worries you that you might not find out fast enough to find Rex, that Rex might be gone. Or you look around at Merrow and at Guy. What happens if they fall before you can figure this out? There's something here, and there's a thread that you can pull. There's a path that you're on, but you feel this intense pressure that you're behind.
And after a few minutes of what can only be described as a gentle meditation, you see her shake herself out of it, open her eyes, and take a deep breath as she looks at you and says, I don't have the answers, but I think if we stick together, we can trace the path that Rex's spirit might be on. I make no promises or guarantees, Guy. I know that you're one who bases decision on fact, knowledge, history, and I'm just gonna have to get you to trust me on stuff like vibes, man, and feelings. Does that sound okay?
I generally do find that it is best to trust an expert in their field and to understand that we should trust what we don't know when an expert is speaking. So, that being said, I feel like you, having been the only one among us to have died and you've got vibes, I'm just gonna go with that being true. I would love to speak to a secondary source of information if given the opportunity.
I strive to be wise, though I know I'm not always the smartest. And that sounds like a very wise thing to do. Also, I'm an expert in not a lot. I mean, I know that I followed the line. We're all just walking a tightrope out here with this mortality thing, right? And I was able to follow and tiptoe along the string back to my mortal coil. But I don't know if Rex's path is the same as mine. I just have to kind of hope and believe that there's something bigger tethering us to one another that we can discover. Ooh, that sounds fun. Oh, yeah,
I just really hope that in the meantime, Rex is on a cruise ship in the afterlife drinking a fruity drink with a little umbrella on it.
You two are acting like we're at some damn meditation retreat. Merrow walks over to the construct, just starts slamming it into the ground, just smashing it over and over, and drags it over to the side of the cliff and just throws it into the cavern. He's gone. This is not a joke.
No, it's deadly serious.
Which cavern did Rex fall into?
So Rex would have fallen into the one kind of closest to you guys, to the left side.
Yeah, so he's going to walk over to that cavern and start to try to pick a way down to get Rex's body. He's going to try to climb down.
Merrow, you know that these cliff walls, while possible to climb down, they're going to be very difficult. The pathway beyond leads in a downward direction, but you have no idea if they ever connect. Are you risking the dangerous trek, or are you trying to explore the path further? Either is totally valid. I just want to make sure that you are aware of the challenge.
Not leaving him.
Okay.
We're not leaving him down there.
As Merrow's doing that, I'll put a little, what's an insect's like hand? It can't be called a hand. It's a little leg on Merrow's shoulder. And then I turn around and I trust fall back into the open cavern that Rex fell down.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to fly down into the darkness and see, first of all, how far I think it might go.
Yeah.
If only you had a friend who could also fly and also light things up.
Well, I want to stay in the dark if you might want to give me a head start for like 2 shakes, and then I will holler at you, girl.
Okay.
Selwyn, you and Guy have traveled together before, and you do give her kind of a couple beats, knowing that the two of you are capable flyers on your own. And Guy, in this darkness, this silence in this cavern deep below where the light is swallowed up, something stirs.
That's what I was hoping for.
This presence coalesces. You know it's not a physical presence. No one has ever been able to see it, but you feel it. And occasionally you'll even catch these glinting eyes as this feminine voice, like velvet soaked in coals, this smooth, warm, and proud. Just, well done. That affirmation. I was beginning to think you had forgotten the lessons I taught you.
No. Certainly haven't forgotten. Just needed an opportunity. But speaking of opportunity, you tend to find me after things like this occur. Is Rex down there?
You're becoming what I always knew you could be. Someone worthy. Continue on. Take this and find your friend.
Okay.
As this light starts to break the darkness and this presence starts to fade, you just hear, "Burn brighter. Remember, I'm always watching, my little storm." And for Guy, you have unlocked a boon that we'll get into.
Okay.
But you've unlocked your first boon. Rex, in this veil between worlds, having embraced this entity of light, you suddenly feel the world rushing back to you. This whisper of radiance that lingers, this shard of potential nestled within your own being. And you have also unlocked a boon, though one of a very different kind. And this air thick with steam and this faint stench of oil and ash, you suddenly surface with this rush of light and fluid, just gasping, breathing for the first time again as you break the surface of this thick liquid that glows, and that glow lingers on your skin. It flickers with this color before fading into the cold reality of a darkened cavern. Around the edge of this stone basin that's shaped almost like a cracked lotus flower stand these shadowy figures in soot-stained coats and brass goggles. One of them a stooped dragonfly fae with trembling wings and a voice like an old rusted valve just kind of hisses, "He made it. Not quite whole, but whole enough." And beside him, there's this stocky centipede fae who pulls you the rest of the way out of this water with a grumble. "Had to dig him out before the legion got to him," and kind of turns you around, and you see kind of just climbing down, breathing heavily, the figure of Merrow, and fluttering nearby that of Selwyn and Guy with anxious eyes. Selwyn, Guy, Merrow, you had met a handful of these fae creatures who had suddenly rushed out of the cavern when you had gotten to the bottom. They had been working, kind of grabbing the various pieces of this destroyed construct, taking it away, talking something about getting it back to Rivet, and this dragonfly had kind of approached you as you had talked about your fallen friend, and then somehow reached into this pool of, it's not even really water, you're necessarily sure, but this flowing stream of blue fluid that just glows with almost firefly light, and just pulled him right out somehow. And y'all are real confused, but Rex is here.
What? Rex?
It's the half moon.
Rex?
Rex is just touching himself. Ba 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 ba. Well, me. He tries his voice. He's very, very confused. And he hears his name being called. He says, Hey, Merrow. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Am I hallucinating?
If you're hallucinating, so am I. Do I recognize anybody that helped me out of this?
You look
primordial
around quickly, Rex, and this dragonfly who kind of pulled you out, their movements are precise and practiced. They're used to saving what others would discard. You see the centipede, neither of them really looks familiar, and behind them, kind of almost taking some shelter behind some rocks, this young beetle fae, barely more than a child, that watches behind this kind of cracked boiler mask, eyes wide with kind of awe and fear. The older dragonfly kind of looks around at all of you, still kind of slicked with this liquid residue from where he had reached in, and just mutters this grim statement, just, "Listen, no one comes back from the life pools clean, but sometimes dirty is what saves us."
Life pools.
Life pools?
Life pools. Say more.
Hey, sir. What? Where are we right now? What is this place? What happened? Did you saved our friend? Did you catch him when he fell?
Savras, the name. Savra
Savras.
Thorn. No, didn't catch him. These life pools, they're strange things that have kind of popped up, but we find that sometimes if you are able to place a husk of a recently fallen fae into them, the soul can sometimes find its way back. So I dunked your friend under after hearing your story, and well, here he is. Again, not quite sure if he's all the way back. We've only done this a couple times so far, but it seems to be working.
Rex!
How do I feel?
Rex!
How do I?
I started shaking, Rex. Can you hear me? Are you in there?
Hey, do I feel okay? How do I feel? Is anything off? I feel like I'm still just kind of in autopilot mode.
Yeah, nothing at the moment feels off or strange. You kind of have this glow almost about you, and everyone else kind of sees it as well. There's this radiance, and you're not sure if it's from the live stream or from the magic or him being brought back, but there's this soft glow about him, and you feel surprisingly good. Like the pain, it had been there, but it's gone now, and you feel rejuvenated.
Guys, I feel great. I feel great. I'm practically glowing.
Can we test something? If I say juice from bark, you'd say
breakfast?
It's him! It's really him! And I will fly over and tackle Rex in a hug.
And he takes the tackle and he's starting to kind of, the emotion of this is hitting him. And tears kind of streaming down his face, and he's just he has so many questions, and he's looking to Savra and the others, and he's like, so you're telling me that if I hadn't made that choice to follow that light when I had a chance, then I would still be in the...
I'm not sure I can answer that, but I think it's probably best we get you to Rivet, and Rivet's been on the other side. Maybe y'all might be able to talk through it.
And as that happens, he's just like, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry.
First of all, do not apologize. You're a badass mother jammer who stood up to a construct while the rest of us went on a little rocket vacation. Well, it wasn't a vacation. It was still terrifying as hell, but you're a bad mother jammer who held your ground, and you get so much respect, says Guy as they're lifting Rex's wings and looking under his armpits and checking his face and making sure that all the spots are...
Is the half moon spot still there that we share?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
first of all,
no. Yeah.
As far as you can tell, Rex looks perfectly fine.
Okay.
I've just gotta say something before it leaves me. While this is fresh, I'm not apologizing because I necessarily feel like I didn't do my best to help you all, but I had a chance. I had a choice. I had a choice to risk it. My mom used to say, risk it for the biscuit. And I took that chance. And I just want you all to know, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to risk.
Good.
If it means that I go to that place again and I'm not there with you. I'm going to be a new Rex. I'm going to be safer.
Merrow's gonna grab Selwyn and Guy and Rex. Great big hug, just crushing them all as hard as he can.
I'm just so happy I'm not the only one who's died anymore.
Me too.
I'm sorry.
It's a fun club, but don't want anybody else get any ideas.
Yeah, hard pass on that until it's my time. Rivet?
Rivet.
Yeah. We should get you all out of here. It's not safe with the construct down. We should move quickly over to Tayborough.
Not safe with the construct down. It wasn't safe with the construct
up.
Rivet will explain more. I can talk on the way, but we best get going. You don't want to be taken.
Okay.
Okay.
Take it.
Okay.
As you guys start moving down the path here, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up there and hop to our break.
Rex is back! Okay.
I'm already no, he's gonna play it safe. Don't play it safe. That's not the lesson to be learned here.